Well, we're at House of Sound in Harrogate with George,
Yep.
and we've been working away on Sarah's stuff at the minute. That's the
Yeah, man.
core stuff that we've been doing, is just working on, finishing one song, which has been like a big achievement because
Yeah.
been
Big
working on
big
this
win,
stuff
right?
yeah, huge
Big win.
Been working on this stuff for like about 6 years now. That's about 18 months. Probably of just like really throwing paint at the wall and
Yeah, totally.
just trying things. And George has been producing and engineering. You do a lot of work with like the K-pop side of things and kind of
K-pop,
you're in-
J-pop, songwriting stuff, production music, artist projects in the north of England at the moment mainly, but yeah, all sorts. So it's been kind of nice to have this project where you're so well versed in folk music,
yeah,
and it's been really nice to have this like sort of limitless exploration, and like you say, throw paint at the wall, and now we have all these instrumentals that are being realized one after another now.
mm-hmm.
And to do the first one is really exciting, to have it like, okay,
Yeah, it gives us like
tick
yeah,
next,
it's a bit of a North Star, isn't it, in terms of knowing
and start that momentum
how
of
we
like
do the rest. And
completion and delivering a result for the artist as well. It's
Mhm.
exciting. Yeah, it's been wicked.
I feel like as well the really cool thing has been as a partnership, because I mean you've been doing obviously the production and the engineering. I would say I've
Yeah.
been more like maybe some co-production, but mainly like instrumental.
Yeah.
I've been like a kind of instrument for you to use in the project, basically.
Yeah.
Right?
What did I call you? I called you a folk Ferrari,
I'll take it.
and I was like,
take
Sarah,
it.
we've got to drive him fast.
Yeah,
I remember
Yeah.
saying that a year ago.
I love that.
Yeah, man, it's
love
been
that.
great. It's been cool to see how you work with all of the different textures, because I kind of had an idea of what I thought this was going to be before we started.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been really nice to see the reality of what that actually is now.
It's always different, though, isn't it? It's like
yeah.
every project, I feel like it's almost like you need to have this map to
Yeah,
go on the journey. So you go, that's the map, it's going to look like that.
yeah,
And then you get into it and it's like you find different things in the process that just kind of surprise you, I guess.
sure, for sure.
And I think this has ended up being like, well, here's a question, I guess. How does it feel different to what you might have thought for you, do you think?
I just think there's like techniques and sounds and textures that we've explored that I wasn't conscious of in this world.
Mm-hmm.
In that like cinematic music production world, all of
Right.
that stuff seems quite obvious.
Mm.
Whereas like in this sort of folk singer-songwriter space, it's been really interesting how we've made something quite intimate feel quite cinematic.
Yes.
And that's something that maybe at the very beginning I didn't think we were gonna. But I just didn't fully expect that would be the route, and that would be, you know, when we listen to what we've done this morning, and there's like a 5-string guitar, you know, like that wouldn't have been on my
bingo card. And
bingo
that only
card,
that only really happened because, you know, Rowan brought it in.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
And it was like, this is amazing.
Yeah,
we're like, yeah, it is. And
this
then
works. So
now it's on the record.
yeah, and I think sometimes that's one of the really, I mean, when you say the word record, I always think it's a cool word, like a record of a time, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that someone might bring in a banjo or a harmonica or whatever, or certain things that we worked on, certain songs that we worked on would be like, Sarah would bring in an idea, or it was just what's in her head that day from the drive.
Yeah.
So I think it's good, and that's the cool thing in sessions, isn't it? Is being open to like that influence coming in, not being too prescriptive about what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Leaving some space for
it's been a very
surprise
free
and
form process, I think, which
'Cause
has
I
been
think
really
you-
beneficial. Yes, very
yeah. So I think you bring a lot of that cinematicness to the stuff, in the sense that tell me a little bit about capturing sonics, and what's a myth that you would like an opportunity to speak to about capturing sonics? What's something that people misunderstand about like microphones and capturing things, do you think?
I think that people overthink about how they capture things a lot, but there is an appropriate amount of thinking that you need to do to execute something to the standard that we have. I think mono and stereo is something that I think about quite a lot with acoustic instruments. I think people have this kind of feeling that they need to put a lot of microphones up and into something. And they don't necessarily need to do that. Sometimes just a mono mic in front of a banjo and then double tracking it is much more effective than doing some elaborate microphone technique and then getting one take. Like there's more than one way that you can achieve what you want to achieve, and I think it depends on the musician and the repertoire that you're working with to achieve that. I don't know. I don't know about a myth or not, but I think that you can do a lot with one microphone.
Yeah.
And you can do
especially that microphone
right,
as well.
Yeah. I mean, we're using a Telefunken. We've got the Coles that we've used. We've used the C12 with the Neumann quite a lot. That combo has gone quite a lot on the stereo.
The C12 it really is interesting, isn't it? It really is like, and the Telefunken, they're kind of like, I do feel like the only way I could describe it is it brings something 3D to the mix that you just don't get. Yes, right. That you totally. You don't, and that's something that I feel I've loved about working with you is that your sensibility definitely brings. It's a thing that comes from the pop world, and that's maybe a bit of a myth, right? Is people almost think pop means like less real. But actually, pop's like hyper real.
Yeah, it's like hyper realism. Yeah.
So it's like if you can kind of bring this vivid sort of quality to it.
Yeah.
And for me, it's been really fun working with you because I think often when you're working with engineers, especially from a folk background, they're looking to get a darker tone to match that woody kind of folky thing.
Yeah.
But I think there's something really interesting about this combination of the modern, very pristine, not pristine as in perfect, but like vivid Technicolor sort of quality mixed with the kind of wooden tones, I think is really interesting.
Yeah, totally. And it's also part of understanding the flow of the process in the room. Because if we're like vibing and we're like on a banjo part and then we're on a guitar part, acoustic guitar part, or a nylon string guitar part, or whatever, and we want to move quickly, then if I'm like, oh, well, hang on, I'm going to set up these 3 microphones and do this stereo pair and do this, and it's like elaborate and it takes time and then it like kills the momentum.
Yeah.
I think that is also the culture of our sessions has also informed the technical side of how we execute
as
those
it should,
things,
which is
how I feel a studio should run.
Yes.
I understand how other people might work, but for me, it's like, what's capturing what we need to capture,
right?
Rather than over-engineering something that isn't going to be used and would be a waste of time and all that stuff.
Yeah, it seems like you're, as a producer, like you're very accommodating about ideas, you know, and you want to like make space for ideas. Yeah, let's try a little bit of that there, or that vocal tag, or that instrument. It's like I've noticed that you'll say yes, you know, most of the time, and then occasionally, obviously, there's time management, energy management.
Yeah.
Listen, we don't need pan pipes on this one.
I think it's healthy. Like in the arrangement of the track that we did earlier, we had more than we needed in terms of the musicality, and then we took away to create the, you know, what our ideal arrangement
sculpture,
rather than more than we need on the technicality side. On the technical side, we don't have more than we need. We just have an appropriate amount. And I think that the overdoing the technical side would undermine the creative and the musicality side of that. So for me, that workflow, particularly for this project, is perfect.
Does this feel, would you say this project, what would you say has been unique for you about this project versus maybe other projects that you work on? Maybe in terms of workflow, is there things that you've...
I think having the time to explore sounds that we can then re-engineer into future songs. So like we've explored the banjo sounds, we've explored the acoustic guitar, nylon guitar, all the different sounds that we've explored. We've then been able to create this like palette of sounds that we can then utilize. We didn't rush to finish the first song, and then think, that could have had this and that on it, to tie it all into like a sonic blueprint palette kind of thing. Palette. So I think that's been one thing that's been really positive, because we haven't rushed, so we've got to a great answer within an appropriate amount of time, I guess.
And that has felt important for Sarah and her process.
Yeah.
And her voice as an artist has been really, like, often, I'm sure it's the same for not to speak for you, but for me often, I just have to get people like a result really quickly. And I can do that and enjoy it. And it's a different kind of energy. But in some ways, having like the space and time to really just find out what works for Sarah has been like quite a privilege, really, eh?
Yeah, totally. Time-wise. And also to see somebody develop, and then for them to realize their potential, because the studio is such a different environment to the stage. And seeing somebody go through that learning curve and becoming more and more confident, and then delivering when you need them to, and that's all been an investment of time over the last 18 months. And it's where that coaching side that you've been heavy on has been really beneficial. And it's like the development of the artist and the artist's confidence and application of their skill set. It kind of all layers up into this record, literally this record of time, like you say, of capturing a moment and capturing that process. And the result is that we have something brilliant.
Capturing the moment that is the result of the process, right? At the end of the process. Not even that obviously the process never ends, but I felt today when we mixed it, I was like, damn, it's quite moving actually. Emotion, it's a relief, isn't it? When you go, wow, that's like
we weren't just talking about getting a result.
That's the fruit of all of that labor. We've got a piece of evidence and a piece of like something to go, that's really what we've been working towards, which is really cool.
It's a good feeling. It's a great feeling.
How, for you as a producer, what do you think is the difference for you in do you see coaching as part of production? If so, where is there a line? How do you find that? Is it different with each person? How do you think about that?
It's definitely different with each person for me. But I think you find what the artists, whether it's a solo artist or a duo or a band, whatever it might be, you find where the strengths are, and you find where their value lies, and then you see where their weaknesses are, and you see if you can add value to that, and if you can help and alleviate or help extend your skill set to improve the overall result. I guess, like if somebody's written great parts to a song, but the arrangement maybe isn't quite catching momentum and staying charged throughout, or maybe someone is just exceptional at one instrument and you want to maximize that. There's so many variables, but I think coaching people through their creative process can be very good, because often it's like an insular thing, and then they get into the studio and that's the first time that they're sharing it, so they need that like feedback. And
you're the audience, right? You're the first audience.
I always see producers as the bridge between the artist and the listening experience. So if you're not really like attuned to what's going on, why it's going on, and how it's going on, you can really make bad records of songs.
Right, because you're not seeing clearly. You're not seeing the picture.
You have
of
to
what's
understand
actually...
their vision first, and then you have to understand the definition of their vision in terms of do they want what they think that they want. Is quite an important thing, because like, for example, we talked to Sarah recently about it doesn't want to be overproduced, and then we listened to some records that are like nice references, and they're super produced.
Right.
They feel natural, they feel organic, and they sound amazing, but there's a lot of production that's gone into them, and that's actually not natural at all.
No.
It's just knowing how to make it sound natural with the production. So you kind of have to understand what the definition is before you of the vision, as well as the vision, if that makes sense.
It's so tied up in language, isn't it?
Yeah,
because
totally.
you know, two people can say the word warm in a studio and mean a totally different thing. One could mean reverb, and someone else might mean you know, more low end or
and I think that's
whatever.
where, just coming back to where saying yes is a good thing when you're in the creative process, because then you can do it and you can hear it, and then the artist knows
you've got something to react off of. Right?
Exactly. It's like, okay, so how about this? And it's like, oh yeah, that's the thing I meant. It's like, all right, well, that's super produced, double track, edited, tightened, tuned vocal. That's not natural at all, you know.
But it feels natural,
right?
Or what to them?
Or you might do, or you might do a wanna, you know, and they're like, oh, that captured the vibe. I like the imperfections, and then I've lost my microphone, and then.
Yeah, it's so interesting. That's so interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And like, I think the amount of things that people, I mean, it's a sign of a good production, because no one's like, I want to hear a really unnatural, inauthentic recording, please.
Sure.
Nobody wants that, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost like sometimes we need a better word than authenticity, because who wants an inauthentic record?
I think sometimes artists talk themselves out of production styles because they have this ideals thing. Like, they think that if like the 4 band members don't get in the room and play it live together, that's not authentic. It's not real. And it's like, yeah, I think sometimes that those ideas can get in people's way in terms of making something that actually is amazing and a great listening experience. Because what you have to do is you got to understand that, you mentioned this the other day with production, it's like a lie detector.
Right.
And it's like, you use those exact words, and it's like, if you can get
I
from
got
the
that
start...
off my brother, who's a director.
Oh, no way.
And he used to say it about cameras.
Yes.
And I think it's absolutely true.
Wow, okay.
You know, working with actors, that camera's a lie detector.
That's
and
cool.
I stole it because I think it's so perfect for recording as well.
Yeah,
but it doesn't mean, like, not to butt in, it doesn't mean that you need to be live. It doesn't mean that. What it means is that thing between the audience and the artist needs to be real. Somehow you need to get to a point where it feels real.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of ways to do that.
Yeah, and I just see it as like your priority should be the listening experience and the listener. And the listener does not know the process in which you have created that record. They just know the outcome. The
feeling.
So if you make them feel something with a tuned, edited, and really well recorded double track, that is of more value than your ideal of doing a natural one take, thing.
Yeah.
Because that's not, if that doesn't convey the emotion of the song, or it doesn't convey what it should,
yes,
then it's undermining what it could be.
And the other thing about that is, like, there's no way of getting away from the work.
Yeah.
So that's what I always look at, like, yeah, you can do it in one take, but only if you it annoys me when people are like, the Beatles...
It's like, rehearse it 100 times.
The Beatles did their first album in a day. You go, but the Beatles were playing 4 shows a day every day for like 5 years.
Right.
So there's no getting away from the work.
Yeah, I heard the same.
And I think you can use the studio as an instrument, and why would you not? That's my view.
Yeah, yeah.